Pirates and Sundowns are slowly becoming what we hate about the Soweto derby. He also just wanted to just be safe in that game, and I think he had what you said in the previous
That's
episode.
what I was gonna say. Coach Wadu watches this.
That, you know what?
How much Liverpool needed that win on Saturday
Yeah.
in the Premier League. It cannot be understated. They needed that result. Sean Dyche nailed the fixture against Manchester United tactically.
Yeah.
Downs and Pirates play out to a draw, and the United Strands barber waits a few more weeks. This is Black and White Boots. Welcome to it.
Yeah, man.
Hey, brother.
Yeah, that guy, it looks like he's gonna. How many days now? 700 and what days?
I don't know. It was too long. It was still under Ten Hag that he thought, oh, we'll win 5 games in a row and I'll cut my hair. But he's always got a smile on his face. He's famous because of it. I guess it's it's fun.
It's working for him. The longer it takes, the more he grows his brand.
He did a Paddy Power commercial.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's like one of the biggest betting companies in the UK. So, it's worked out for him. But hey, I'd be dying for a haircut. I'm dying for him to get a haircut.
Yeah, what's weird for me is it's got a lot of hair, but no beard. He's a weirdo.
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
But I think it's going to take a while until he gets his haircut.
I also started off with Pirates versus Sundowns. Let's get into that PSL action.
What a game, though. Let me be honest. I didn't enjoy that game that much. I feel like Pirates and Sundowns are slowly becoming what we hate about the Soweto derby. If we look back at before, obviously, this draw run of, I think it's the third game, and it was a 1-1. Before that, even though Orlando Pirates was in the wrong end of the results, like as a Pirates fan, it was sore. But the reality of it is that it was enterprising. It had flair, it had goals, that fixture. But now it's just more of a tactical battle.
I always used to say to you that when it's a Soweto derby, bet 1.5 under or both teams to score.
Yeah.
No. And then it's free money. They KG affairs. I think that's the term. KG affairs. No one wants to give up that game.
No one wants to. And if you look at how Pirates approached that game, you went without like your normal creative midfielders. You went with like, I'll say, players who are more defensive than attacking. You know what I'm saying? With this number 10 and number 8, they are good with attacking, but not as good when it comes to playing that number 10 role of being creative. So you can tell that he also just wanted to just be safe in that game, and I think he had what you said in the previous
That's
episode.
what I was gonna say. Coach Wadu watches this.
That, what? If I get a draw here, it's still okay, because the
draw is a good result for Pirates.
Yep.
This is what I said. A win is a tremendous result, but a draw is a good result for Pirates. The way things stand out of CAF Champions League, they'll recover those fixtures in hand.
Yeah.
They've been doing well in the league. That's why they are where they are.
Yeah.
So Pirates, a draw is a good result for Pirates. Anything but a win for Sundowns would have been a bad result. Turned out a draw. So, yeah, you didn't want to lose that game as Coach Wadu.
You didn't want to lose that game. And also what I've picked up is that Mamelodi Sundowns without Tebogo Mokoena, they bit shaky, in that midfield, because I think I like to believe that he gives them more, and without him, they looked a bit shaky, and Pirates sort of like dominated that midfield, and I think, like you said, it was a KG affair, and I think Pirates almost got away with it. Had our players had a little bit of cohesion, going up front, just square the ball. There were situations where a police was just clear, and all he needed was just a cross, and then he could bang the ball into the back of the net. But our players, I don't know what was happening on the day. They just held into the ball for longer. And there were situations where Siema could have just crossed the ball to Police, tried to get the glory, and then it was saved. And which begs my question to you now. Do you think with AFCON and World Cup in mind, do you think players tend to be a little bit selfish? Because if I look at a player like Siema in that incident, he could see that Apolis was clear, right? But all he needed to do was just cross the ball and Apolis scores. But he tried to go for the glory. And then when I look at him, he's doing well. He's playing every game, but he's not yet part of Bafana setup. And then I'll reference that to Usibilibili, who had scored in MTN 8 semifinals. First leg and second leg, I think. And then he got a call to the Bafana setup. Do you think when these players approach these games, they do have that in mind?
It's an interesting question. I think it's silly if you do. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if you can win games with your team, and we know what the modern game is. Goals matter, of course. Scoring goals matters. But it's amazing how much things have changed from when I started really getting into football in the 90s and the 2000s, where goal scorers, that was everything. Scoring goals, that was the thing. Now everything is XG, goal contributions, whatever that. It's not even the stats. The only time we see a goal scored stat is Erling Haaland, because he's just scoring loads of them.
Goals.
And Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's approaching that record. He's 48 goals away now or something from the 1,000 goals in professional football in his career. And it's silly that if you can get an assist or even a pre-assist, it's like it counts towards people's stats, you know, like pre-assists. Even Harry Kane on this incredible run, we'll get to Bayern Munich's run in a moment. On this incredible run with Bayern Munich, most of the time when you see the stats being brought up about Harry Kane, it's goal contributions, because the number of assists that he supplies as well. So I think if players are doing that, and I'm not saying they don't. I think it might be the occasion getting to players where they're not thinking straight and they're not putting in crosses and they're just going for shots, etc. You know, because the occasion gets to you, you don't get your head up in the same way, and you just like panic and you make bad decisions. That happens all the time in football as well. But if you're right and players are becoming more selfish and they want goals to get into a Bafana squad, to play at AFCON, to play at the World Cup, then they've got the wrong mindset to get into that squad, because if you're getting the assists, then that contributes in the same way. And you don't have to do the hardest part of the job, which is putting the ball in the net. That's the hardest part. Creating the assist is slightly easier. So, yeah, it's an interesting question. And I think it would have been huge for Pirates if they could have gone on to win that. And it's disappointing as a Pirates fan to see bad decision-making in that way.
I think Orlando Pirates made some some players made some bad decisions on the day. And Sundowns, in my view, in that fixture was so beatable. And if you look at even the goal that we scored, what a scotch of a goal there. I don't know what you think, but I think that goal is gonna go for the Puskas. It was like a scotcher, you know. But coming back to what we're talking about, I think it will be silly, like you're saying, but I have got a strong suspicion that, you know, players know that this is like highest fixture in terms of.
It's the biggest fixture in the league right now.
In the league right now,
because of the implications on who wins the title.
Hugo's eyes will be in that match, you know, and everybody just want to grab the headlines. I hope I'm wrong, but it was a game that Orlando Pirates should have won, in my view.
In terms of a title challenge, Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns are clear favorites, and that's why this fixture was such a big thing. These are the two teams that are expected to be pushing on all the way this season. But our first episode of the show, we spoke about a potential Skukune fairy tale. They're 2 points off Sundowns with a game in hand, a point ahead of Pirates who have a game in hand on them. They're still thereabouts. And Kaizer Chiefs have played 10 games, one fixture more than Orlando Pirates, but on the same level on points. They could be 3 points ahead of Pirates tonight, before Pirates even kick a ball at Golden Arrows tomorrow.
Yeah, no. Chiefs had a good start, and they dip. And, the win against Durban City on Friday put them in a very, very, very good position. And obviously, them progressing to CAF Champions League sort of like give them that confidence and the boost. And I foresee them also being amongst the teams that are going to challenge for the league, And if you look at a team like Skokune, they've had a bad run so far, but they're still up there because of how they've started, just as Kaizer Chiefs. Mamelodi Sundowns on and off, and they needed this win so that they can also be clear, And I think both Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns played it very safe this weekend to ensure that it's either you win or you don't lose.
Right. So I do think that the draw is a better result for Pirates, but a loss would have been a horrific result for Sundowns.
No, definitely. And the coach knew, you could see with his subs as well that, yes, he did put in Reynolds for Shalulile, but you could see he was a bit, it was like for like. He didn't want to change much. He didn't want to let me sacrifice maybe a midfield and just throw everything at Pirates. But you can't do that. It's a league game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You have to at least approach it with caution, And
rather get a point and take 2 off of Pirates. Or then take the big chance and get slated by Monday morning. The bosses have you in there. And we know how long managers can last at Mamelodi Sundowns.
True. Eh?
It's one of the shortest jobs in South African football, unless you're talking about Kaizer Chiefs. Let's talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Obviously, we've seen another change in management. It's an interim position for 2 coaches, always strange. It's Coach Ben Yusuf and Kaze.
Yeah.
And it's not looking too bad. It seems to be working for now, but Kaizer Chiefs have to make a decision one way or another soon, surely.
I foresee those guys finishing off the league, how they played in the CAF Confederation Cup, winning 3-0. I think if they go to the group stages and do well and maybe try and get to maybe to the final of Nedbank again, they will be okay. I don't think there's a need for Kaizer Chiefs to really go out there in the market. And if they do, who else can they get out there in the market?
Is this a best case scenario for Kaizer Chiefs? Because Kaizer Chiefs never hire a manager and give him manager duties. Because there's other people who run that club. Really, your manager gets brought in and he's a coach.
Yeah, that could be the best situation. And I think the management could feel more comfortable with somebody.
With 2 coaches.
That are not pushing back in a lot of decision. They're just going on by their business.
Because there's no single man in charge anyway. You've got co-coaches. And right, you guys understand you're here to coach the team. You've got a bunch of coaches. These are just the main head coaches. And they're co-head coaching Kaizer Chiefs right now. And looking at the log, yes, the good start is the biggest thing, But it's not going too badly.
Not going too badly. And again, do you really... you started a season with Coach Nabi. Coach Nabi left. You've got these 2 guys. Do you really want to destabilize the team again and bring another personnel? I think you rather say, you know what? They are here. They're not doing too bad so far. Let's rather finish off the season with them. And then in the new season, depending on how they finish, we can look at getting another coach or potentially appointing them as... full-time coaches, co-head coaches, if they actually do well in this season. Because I think Chiefs are not playing too bad, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I saw that game against that DRC outfit. I forgot their name. They were not doing too bad.
Well, they've got a fair squad there, and tonight they play Orbit College at home at FNB Stadium this evening. What are you thinking for that fixture? It's a good opportunity for Chiefs, surely.
It's a good opportunity for Chiefs to close the gap.
Yeah. Get some
but
points on the board.
Orbit College, I mean, I saw they've just won their previous game as well. I think they won, I think it was, I'm going to check quickly. I can't remember. But they won. I know Munapule Saleng had an assist and a goal. So they also will go. This they're newly promoted, but playing these teams that are sort of like relegation threatened, it's always a tricky fixture because they'll just come sit at the back and they get one opportunity, they pounce. But I don't see a problem for Kaizer Chiefs going to that fixture, honestly speaking.
Yeah, and what that will mean for the league is if Kaizer Chiefs are to win that fixture, it is before both Sundowns and Pirates play, who will be playing tomorrow evening.
Yeah.
They could be level on points at the top of the league. The goal difference is a bit large to get past. That would have to be 8 goals. We don't see that in the PSL very often. A big 8-goal swing. But they could be level on points with Sundowns before Sundowns kick a ball. And I mean, how big would this be? After 11 games played, who would have said Kaizer Chiefs would be level on points with Mamelodi Sundowns having played the same number of games?
Yeah, that's why Sundowns did not have a good start. And after I watched the Orlando Pirates game and Mamelodi Sundowns, I sort of understand why many of Mamelodi Sundowns fans are not happy with Coach Cardoso. Because I can tell you now, Sundowns was a difficult nut to crack. When you go to play Sundowns, you will get your opportunities, but they were limited. And chances are you're going to get a thumping, right? But now everybody that goes to play Mamelodi Sundowns, when you watch that game, it looks like they've got a chance to actually beat Mamelodi Sundowns, which was not the case before.
You were beaten in the tunnel before walking onto the pitch.
You get what I mean? And the Mamelodi Sundowns of Rulani Mokwena, I think it was something else, and it was a team that you find it hard to penetrate, and they will just get on with it and get results, But this one, it's a bit shaky, and I see why maybe many of the fans are not so much happy with Coach Cardoso.
Tomorrow night they play TS Galaxy. It's an important game to get a win.
And it's the Achilles heel, eh? TS Galaxy just knows how to beat Mamelodi Sundowns. I wouldn't be surprised if they can just edge them, eh? And also they are wounded. They won. It's in the CAF, not CAF, man. It's in the Telkom no card that they lost. I'm confusing the two, but they just won against Stellenbosch 2-0.
Sure, there's so much to go through. They beat Stellies 2-0 on Sunday. And of course, that was after Sundowns 1-1 draw with Pirates on Saturday. Like you said, Orbit College getting a 3-1 win against Magesi.
Yes.
And
so the tills are high.
Skikune dropping points with an opportunity on Friday night against Siwelele, which Bloemfontein Stadium, this is what we expect. Yeah. The Bloemfontein team at Bloemfontein Stadium, you're supposed to win your home games. That's what we've been expecting. It's not really worked out that way, but maybe things need a little bit of time. We are big proponents of that, of saying, give teams some time. But what that means for Stellies is they're sitting 14th in the league on 9 points, the same number of points as Magesi, and just 3 points ahead of Chipper United. And it's not even like they can say they've got games in hand or anything here. I mean, they're below Sibulele, Richards Bay, Orbit College. These are teams they should be far above in the league.
Remember what I said about Stellenbosch this season, that they look like they're struggling. And I don't know if it's the model of business that they've always been using in the past, of, grooming talent and eventually selling the talent, because they've lost some key players. Yonduli, who's a start at Orlando Pirates, your Adams, your Pasadine. They've lost quality players, right? And I just wonder if that kind of a model is starting to affect their game as it did with SuperSport. Because eventually that model of just buying and just getting talent and selling, I think it eventually catches up with you at some point. And I just wonder if that's the case with Stellenbosch right now, because they look like they are in trouble right now. Because if they don't start winning games, we're going to be talking about Stellies being in a relegation zone.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They threw in the CAF Confederations Cup.
They are through. And I was saying that you asked me, I think, how do I think they're going to do in the Confederation Cup? And I was saying, I mean, that destiny in in Confederation Cup, it's gonna be it's also gonna be tied up to how they do in the league. They might have to sacrifice one.
You might have to sacrifice one to be successful in the other.
Yeah.
And the last thing they'll want is to be going on in the Confederations Cup and getting kicked out in a quarterfinal, for example, and having compromised the league and then be fighting relegation.
Yep. So, yeah, I wonder. But what do you think? Do you think that model works, Marco? Because I feel like it's good, but you have to keep your spine, eh?
We know how expensive it is to run a football club in South Africa.
But not for the Winelands boys, eh? There's Rama there, there's all of those things.
Okay, yeah, fair. But the thing is, like, surely you have to,
unless they're looking at it as a business.
When you're a club that needs to generate some sort of revenue, and there's only really 3 clubs in South African football who are good at generating revenue. It's Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates, and Mamelodi Sundowns.
No.
You can excuse a team for trying to generate revenue through sales of players. But yes, it can't be sustainable. Like you mentioned SuperSport United. Look how that turned up, so that it can work well for you for a bit, but there has to be a point where you stop doing that and you start holding on to your best players. And especially at times where you need key players and you're playing in multiple competitions on the continent as well. We're speaking about the Confederations Cup. Let's start with that group stage draw.
Yeah.
Let's focus on the local teams perhaps Group B, where Wydad is. Nairobi United against Wydad, Manyema Union and Azam FC in Group B of the Confederations Cup. Wydad surely favourites for that. Big club, big status. They are probably favourites for the tournament. Let's have a look at Stelli's group there. You're going to help me with a pronunciation on some of these. Oh, my goodness.
Let me check it out.
So it's the Singida Black Stars.
Okay.
AS Otoho and CR Belouizdad.
Yeah, you got it.
Belouizdad. That's better. That's Group C with Stelli's.
It's Belouizdad. Yeah. CR Belouizdad.
I apologize to everyone watching this.
Fans. We're sorry.
Not that I do much better in a Europa League fixture run of result. I struggle with half those names as well.
Singida Black Stars. It's Tanzania. Okay. So the Confederation Cup has got some strong names, eh, Marco?
Especially when you see Wydad and Zamalek FC in there. Or Zamalek SC, I should say. Those are names that we know. Obviously, Zamalek SC, Group D with Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, and this team from Zambia, Zesco United, it's quite a good side as well. So, yeah, Chiefs they are in a very, very strong group.
D for death.
Yeah, no, that group is strong. I think it's the group of death, that one.
Al Masri SC in that group as well. Looking forward to that tournament. Let's switch our attentions over to the CAF Champions League, the premier club tournament on the continent. And there's one group that we pay keen attention to over there. Mamelodi Sundowns, okay, Al Hilal in Sudan. That's something to look at. But this is the name that's on everyone's lips right now. MC Alger, the Algerian outfit, coached by none other
than Rulani
Mokoena. He's found himself another job there in the north of the continent. And he knows Sundowns as well as anyone in football today.
Yeah, he knows Sundowns from
inside out.
And who could have predicted that kind of a script for Champions League? Football is something else.
You can't write it. And then, of course, FC Elui Lupopo.
Yeah, that dealt with Pirates.
The one that with a couple of dirty, heavy-handed tactics getting stuck in there. So, Sundowns, it's not given that they get out of this group, especially showing current form.
It's not given, eh?
But they know their way around this tournament.
Exactly what I was about to say. Sundowns just knows how to win this competition. If there's a team that I think stand a better chance to come out of this tournament. This group stages is Sundowns, and they can actually go all the way in this tournament.
Yeah, if you're going to ask me for my money on a bet right now, it's at some point Mamelodi Sundowns will play Al Ahly.
Yeah.
Or at least Pyramids FC. You know, there will be Sundowns are flying to Egypt at some point coming year. It's happening. In my opinion,
yeah, it's gonna
this
happen.
season, Sundowns will be playing an away fixture in Egypt.
Yeah, I know.
This is what happens every year.
That's it. Because when it gets smaller, it's
those teams.
It's those teams.
Pyramids, Al Ahly, Sundowns. That's who you expect to see in the latter stages of this tournament.
But interesting stuff, hey?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. But I think Group 1, I'm gonna give it to the way it is. I'm gonna give it to RS Berkane or Pyramids. They're strong sides there. And then Group 2, yes. Yeah, no. Maybe I must stop predicting because that's crazy, bro. Like Al Ahly, Young Africans have done really well as well from Tanzania. AS FAR Morocco. Okay, the other team, I don't know much about them.
The Algerian outfit there.
The Algerian outfit, I don't think they have got like a
This is
rich
not
history.
financial advice. Do not bet on the things that we say.
No, it's not.
Although you might have been in with some money the last few weeks. We've been good. We've
Yeah,
been good.
We've been good.
But
This
we
one-
definitely don't ask you to Group C.
Group C, Mamelodi Sundowns is going to come out of that group, I think, with MC Alger. That Lupopo team, I don't see them going very far because I think from group stages, there's things like VAR, you know, that tactics is not really going to carry them, you know. So I think they're going to be the weakest link in that group.
I think they're just happy to have been through to the group stages. You could see it the way they celebrated in Orlando. That's like winning a trophy almost to them.
But they've been, I think they won against Mazembe. I think, let me just double check that they're sort of like becoming a force, you know. But again, when it gets to group stages, it's all about football. And if they are not playing fair, they're going to find themselves in trouble.
And then in the final group of the draw, you've got Esperance de Tunis, the Tunisian outfit.
Yeah.
Simba SC from Tanzania. Atletico de Luanda from Angola. And Stade Malien from Mali. Some interesting fixtures to come out of that one as well. Who you thinking? Simba or Esperance?
Esperance is a good side. I think Esperance in that group and Simba might come out.
I think those are the two strong sides. But hey, don't count out any teams from Angola and Mali.
Yeah, and
either,
of course. Once you get to the group stages,
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Well, a lot to look forward to from that draw as well. Tell me, when do we start talking about AFCON?
Yeah. I think it's time now, eh?
It's time to talk about AFCON.
We're getting there. We're getting
there. It's coming close. It's before
coming
we know
close.
it, it's here.
It's coming close. But I think Bafana assemble, I think, around the 16th of December or something like that. I just saw somewhere that I think they're going to assemble around there. And then I think Coach Hugo wants, I think, 4 days in South Africa with the boys before they embark on the quest of bringing the glory back home.
Yeah, definitely. And we've announced those groups already. Obviously, Bafana have Egypt, Angola, and Zimbabwe in their group.
Yeah.
And this Zimbabwe side is not the Zimbabwe side of a year ago, really, to be honest. We saw that.
They can hold their own.
They can hold their own. So it's not an easy group. And this AFCON promises, if this AFCON's anywhere near as good as the last one, in all terms, the quality of the football, the organization, the quality of the refereeing, all of those things.
But you know
it was
what
a great AFCON tournament, and hopefully this is another great one.
But you know what? I think it's going to hinder maybe the viewership, or it's the period in which it's been played. Festive season, yeah. Not many people care about football except for the English guys, because they play right through.
Yeah, and I mean, we spoke about how there's only one Boxing Day fixture in the Premier League, which has changed everything in terms of what we've known historically and traditionally from English football.
Yeah.
We know that the other European leagues, they go on a bit of a holiday.
Yeah.
There's no fixtures for a couple of weeks there.
Oh, maybe that could be a good thing. On the contrary, actually, eh?
It might assist them maybe in like Champions League runs or something along those lines.
Because I'm thinking maybe a lot of people don't really take interest in football during those days. But if there's only English Premiership during December and there's AFCON, hey, they might just get maybe eyeballs. I don't know.
Well, best of luck to everyone participating in AFCON,
Especially
except
Bafana
for
Bafana.
anyone who isn't Bafana Bafana.
Yeah.
No luck to you. We wish the worst. If Bafana Bafana are to win the AFCON,
Yeah.
what does that do to their hopes in the World Cup?
Yeah, that will go a long way. Because I can tell you now, the way Morocco played their AFCON,
The way they played AFCON after a great World Cup performance.
I think those two, you can't separate them. Once you can do well in one, it sort of gives you the confidence and the hope to say, you know what, we can actually do it. Because I think AFCON, it's one hell of a place to compete, and you're competing with players from all over the world who are playing all over the world. There's if you look at Nigerian squad, they've got players everywhere. Ivory Coast,
Morocco, Ivory Coast, Nigeria. Just looking at some of those teams, Senegal, okay, historically a little bit more than there is now.
Yeah,
Algerian players playing in top European clubs.
exactly.
And then, okay, I don't want to talk up the Saudi league too much. There's a lot of players in this AFCON who are representing clubs in Saudi league.
Yeah.
Saudi, they buy good players, whoever they can
watch a
get.
match on ESPN. I forgot to tell you, eh?
How was it?
It's not bad. It's not as slow as I thought it was. It is not bad, or it's not as slow as how social media has portrayed it. Yeah, I watched this game the previous. I think it was on Friday. Yeah.
When you've got that level of players,
I
okay,
watched
yes,
Al Nassr. Yeah.
they're a little bit up there in age,
Yeah.
the real top players in the
Yeah.
Saudi league.
Yeah.
And they're playing in incredible conditions, incredible heat.
That's why they have to play at night, all their games.
Yeah. And Cristiano Ronaldo has said that he thinks that it's better than the French league, and that he doesn't think that they'd be able to run the number of...
Yeah, I don't think it's better than the French league.
I don't think it's better than the French league.
But yeah.
That's a bit of a big statement. But yeah, it's going to be a good AFCON tournament. I'm looking forward to it. From 21 December through to the 18th of January, a lot of talk about Manchester United around this weekend and their reliance on Brian Mbeumo and
Cunha.
Cunha's Brazilian, so he's obviously not going to be lost through the AFCON.
Oh, yeah.
Ahmad Diallo will be
Ahmad
lost
Diallo.
for the AFCON.
You're talking about players who
are gonna miss. Manchester United haven't had that problem much in the past. Losing African players, they normally had a deeper squad and they didn't rely too heavily on the African players that have represented Manchester United.
Yeah.
We've seen it in the past with Liverpool, with the likes of Salah leaving, and a few other clubs. I remember when the Toure brothers had to leave the squad, how that did impact Manchester City, for example.
More Salah now for Liverpool.
Chelsea in the past were one of the teams that famously struggled when players had to leave from the AFCON, because they had a good African contingent.
Yeah.
When AFCON used to happen, they'd lose key players like
They will have
Drogba,
Kalu, Solomon Kalu,
yeah,
Didier Drogba, yeah, the likes.
the likes of those. So it's a tournament that hinders some European football, but hey, that's the name of the game.
That's the name of the game. Unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles. You can't deny players to go represent their countries. Though we've had in the past that
managers who try their best.
Yeah, they try their best. They will offer you some incentive
to be injured.
Yeah, to be injured. Yeah, no. But I think CAF as well, they have to really try and get it back to where it was, in a way. Beginning, remember it was in Jan before, and then now obviously it's in December, Jan. But then there was a time where we were playing it in June, and I think that is the best time to actually play.
Yeah, let's coincide with the European calendar a little bit. It might help some of those players.
It might, and it helps strengthen our squads as well. Because I mean, if you're gonna have players that are here, but half of their mind in their football clubs. It sort of like defeats the purpose.
And along with clubs being perhaps a little more reluctant to sign African players, knowing that they're not going to be able to rely on them in December, January, it might open the window for more African players to play top-level European elite football.
Yeah, so we need to get it back to June, man.
Okay, is that enough about CAF?
I think it's enough about CAF.
And let's have a look at the Champions League. Tonight, some big fixtures in the Champions League. And there's one that we're all looking forward to a little bit extra, isn't it?
Can I be honest, though, with you, bro? Like, I'm not feeling this Champions League, bro.
Is it the format that worries you?
It's the format. Like, I am battling to get used to it. Like, for me, it just feels like...
Go back to group stages.
Go back to group stages. You know what is happening.
If you lose to a side and it's like, okay, we'll see you when you come back to our home. We'll see you when you come back to our home. Maybe I'm just
anti-change, but I just feel like, it's a bit dull. Maybe we'll get used to it. I'll get used to it.
Obviously, all eyes on tonight's fixture, Liverpool against Real Madrid. That's the one that everyone's talking about. That's the fixture. I mean... I think I've seen too much news about Trent Alexander-Arnold in the past few days, etc., etc. It's at Anfield. How much Liverpool needed that win on Saturday in the Premier League? It cannot be understated. They needed that result.
They needed
in a huge way.
Because had they lost that match, would have been what? 5 or 6?
It would have been 5 Premier League losses in a row, and 6 or 7 losses over the course of 8 games, something along those lines.
It would have been devastating.
It would have been 7 losses over the course of 8 games because they lost the Carabao Cup and they lost the Champions League fixture against Galatasaray, and their sole win in that 7-game period did come in the Champions League. So against Eintracht Frankfurt, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they won against Frankfurt.
They won against Frankfurt, and they needed that win before Real Madrid come to town.
They needed it.
They needed it desperately because if you're in that sort of confidence, in that sort of form, and Real Madrid come to town, you could get thumped.
And looking at how Madrid played against Barcelona, I watched that game. I'm like, I wonder how these people are gonna.
How are you gonna deal with Vinny Jr. alone? The way that Vinny Jr. has been antagonizing teams in Spanish football, where his skill, his touch on the ball, his pace, it's so frustrating for players that they're getting themselves sent off on Vinny Jr. alone. We've seen it 2-3 weeks in a row in La Liga. And I still think that tonight's fixture is going to be a step too much for Liverpool.
Yeah, I think a draw will be a good result for them.
If you back off of Mbappe, he'll just shoot. If you back off of Vinny Jr., he'll find a pass. If you back off of Jude Bellingham, he'll shoot. Arda Güler has been finding Mbappe. He's been on form. Xabi Alonso has been the best thing for him. And now there's an injury to the young Argentine player of Real Madrid, which opens up a little bit extra space for Rodrigo to be playing on that right-hand side. This is a tough game for Liverpool.
I'm just looking at that left-hand side of Liverpool. Frimpong is not back, eh?
I don't know if Frimpong is back.
Because Bradley played on Saturday.
But was it because of the booking to Frimpong? Was he suspended from English football? I haven't checked, to be honest. I apologize. We should know better than this. But
imagine, actually, that left-hand side, eh?
Yeah, and how's Kirkes going to deal with Vinny Jr.? You know, and the way that Konate and Van Dijk have been performing this season, again, they have to deal with Kylian Mbappe, one of the hardest number 9s to deal with in world football.
Because he's not stationary that often.
You know, there's 3 players that you don't want to see when you're in this sort of form. It's Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, and Kylian Mbappe.
Being supplied by the likes of
Bellingham, Arda Güler, take your pick. You know, that Real Madrid squad is the thing. So, I've been very big on defending Liverpool in recent weeks.
Yeah.
The run of form's been bad. I've been saying they need to turn it around quickly. Yeah. They have had the opportunity against Aston Villa where they did turn that around. Have they turned it around enough in terms of confidence to turn this around against Real Madrid of all teams? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, look, Mo Salah scored, so he
was given a gift.
Yeah,
we still haven't seen Salah of the past.
Yeah, not true.
And if Real Madrid gift you a goal, they'll score 4.
Yeah, I don't think Liverpool are going to beat Real Madrid. I'm sorry, not a chance.
All they can I wonder if Arne Slot's going to be a little more pragmatic in this game and say, guys,
it's gonna have to be.
He's going to have to be, because otherwise you could get thumped.
Yeah, if you approach this game carelessly, you can really, really get a proper hiding, and it's the last thing that you need. A draw for Liverpool, I think, will be very good results.
I agree.
Looking at the fact that they've already won in the league, now a draw in Champions League, then they concentrate on the league over the weekend. They might just, turn their tide.
Turn the season back around in their favour. I'm going to skip over a few fixtures like Napoli, Eintracht Frankfurt. It's not that I disrespect. I think it'll be a very good game. But I think I just want to select a few. Arsenal are absolutely flying. They're not conceding goals.
Yeah.
They score from set pieces for fun. And they play against Slavia Praga tonight.
That's an easy fixture for us.
I think so. I mean, it's not an easy place to go. But
they are going away.
Yeah. But I think that Arsenal will...
They're rolling, bro.
They're on fire at the moment. Yeah. Spurs play against Copenhagen. They played really poorly against Chelsea.
Copenhagen...
They're at home. I don't know if Spurs haven't made their home a fortress, in London. I don't think teams feel very scared to go there. But against Copenhagen, you think Spurs have enough. They've got such a good squad.
It should be an easy game for Spurs, I would like to think. But Copenhagen, look, they're not really a small side, to be fair with you. I mean, they're big in terms of Danish football.
Yeah. Juventus against Sporting, that's a fixture I'm picking out just out of being biased. I like talking about Portuguese clubs and I love Juventus. Sporting aren't the same since losing Ruben Amorim.
And Gyökeres.
And Gyökeres is gone, etc. They still have some goals in them, etc. But they have to travel to Juventus, who have that new manager bump.
Yeah.
But
Juventus haven't really been doing well, so
yeah, they went through a bad run of form, fired their manager, brought in Spalletti now during the week and won their fixture on the weekend. So they're at home in Turin and Sporting are coming to town. I think that the likes of Kenan Yildiz, who I'm a big fan of, I think he's the top player, I think they'll have too much for Sporting. This is actually the fixture tonight that I think is the biggest fixture of this weekend. I know everyone's talking about Real Madrid, Liverpool. PSG versus Bayern Munich.
Hey.
Bayern Munich have won every single game of their 14-game run so far, I believe. I believe it's 14 games. It could be 15 by now. PSG, or can they stop Bayern Munich? Because what a game this is. I wouldn't want to predict it either way. I see goals.
I see lots of goals.
I think this is like, if you're asking for my money, what am I going to put it on? It's like a 2.5 over or both teams to score.
Yeah.
Because that's a tremendous game. And that's going to be my watch, to be honest, because it's at the same time as Real Madrid, Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Yeah, I watch PSG versus Bayern Munich.
Because again, PSG are not gonna. It's not a team that sits back. It's a team that very good at attacking. They attack as a pack. They defend as a pack.
But Bayern Munich on the counter attack, so much quality in that side, and they find the pass. And good luck stopping Harry Kane at the moment.
Oof.
Yeah,
that's a pick of. That's
the pick of the fixtures. I agree. Chelsea against Karabag FK rather. Come on, Chelsea.
It's Chelsea.
It's Chelsea. We don't know what we're going to get.
Hey, those guys are so inconsistent, eh?
Moises Caicedo.
What a player.
We're going to get to that when we get to Premier League. What a player.
Yeah.
It was like a regen of N'Golo Kante, that one. But we'll get more to Chelsea and their fixture from the weekend. Chelsea should have too much. They've got a lot of quality players.
Yeah.
Manchester City against Borussia Dortmund. Another good game.
It's a good game. Is it at 10 o'clock? As well?
It's actually Wednesday night.
Oh, Wednesday
so it's
night.
tomorrow night.
Okay.
So that's not coinciding with those other fixtures, fortunately. The fixture that does coincide with that might be a little bit of a pick is Newcastle versus Athletic Club.
I'll watch Dortmund versus Man City.
I agree. I thought City were terrific this weekend. We're going to touch on that a little bit more. And then the rest of the fixtures, not really anything big to pick out there except Barcelona traveling to Club Brugge after Lamine Yamal's personal life is everything that everyone's talking about. I don't care.
No.
Yeah, so that's some Champions League action coming up for you. Let's click on over elsewhere in Europe, the Premier League.
Our second home.
Boy, oh boy, what a load of action. Everyone talking about Liverpool being back. They're right up there in the league again.
Yeah.
You know, it's after
crazy.
losing 4 games in a row, you're still up there.
Yeah.
It's just because their start was so very good in terms of results, not necessarily in terms of performances.
They had put in good performances in the beginning. And
Well, Hugo Ekitike and bailed them out, and Federico Chiesa bailed them out. It was these last-minute goals where they weren't performing and they were getting results anyway. So they're still up there in the table after this weekend.
just like you predicted. That
Just like I said, they'll come back and they'll still be there. But the performances before the bad run of results weren't great. And Arsenal don't look like they're dropping points anytime soon. But this thing changes every weekend. And one of those big changes, everyone's been saying, who's getting relegated? Wolves. Okay, I agree with that one. I think Wolves.
I think they're gone.
They gave their their manager a new contract 4 weeks ago, and now he's gone. You know,
Still have to pay him out.
still have to pay the guy out. It just seems like such bad management. Look, I get it. The club gives you a new contract and hopes that gives you a push, a bounce. It's like, thank you so much for my new contract. Let's go and push on. This league's a bit too much for Wolves. But the other one, everyone's like, oh, they're gone. West Ham.
Whew, what a result, eh?
And a performance. Paqueta, what a goal. Banger.
And you spoke about how they look dejected, and geez, it was just opposite of what we've seen in the past, and it looks like that Nuno effect is starting to get into them. You could just see with the celebration with this technical team that this match, it could be the one that just changes their fortunes for good.
Boy, we said Liverpool needed a win.
Yeah,
West Ham needed a win,
Bro.
and they got it. And that for me, that's like I said, everyone's talking about this result or that. That win came against Newcastle.
It's not just any football club.
It's not any football club. Newcastle's a good side. Yes, they're not having their best season, but they replaced Isak with Voltemado, who's scoring goals for free. That's not an easy result. Of course, Liverpool's fixture against Aston Villa, that's the big talking point from this weekend. Unai Emery, Villa have been good again. They had a bad start to the season. Then they've been playing well. They come across Liverpool at Anfield. Everyone who's put Liverpool in their place over the last 4 fixtures in the Premier League has played in a certain style, in a certain way. Unai Emery is like, no, we're winning games playing the way we've been playing.
You can't.
You have to adapt for the opposition. You have to adapt for the opposition. And Emery, he's like, we winning games. We playing the way we're playing. It didn't work out.
They were just, I don't know. I mean, how do you go?
And Liverpool were the better side. I want to make that clear.
Yeah.
This wasn't a lucky win for Liverpool. They didn't scrape through. They were the better side.
But when Liverpool was attacking, there were just so many spaces. And I think the approach to that game, I think had they were a little bit pragmatic, I think they would have maybe gotten a draw.
Yeah, they could have given Liverpool more trouble than they did.
Because there was just so much space. I think they were. This attacking football, sometimes you have to adjust, eh?
Yeah, teams have been coming to Liverpool, defending deep, hitting on the counter-attack, and Liverpool have been crumbling. And Unai Emery decided to play the game their way and go at them.
Pound to pound with them.
It was the wrong choice.
Yeah, I was watching that game. I'm like, every time when Liverpool has got the ball, they just got so much space to run at. They were just knocking the ball around with so much ease because Aston Villa was way too
Advanced.
upfront. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of managers getting it wrong, the
Yeah.
polar opposite of that, Sean Dyche nailed the fixture against Manchester United tactically.
Yeah.
They were the worst team in the first half. Manchester United should have gone on and maybe created a couple more good opportunities when they had the chance and put that fixture to bed in the first half when Forest were looking like a team who's struggling. Came out in the second half and were by far the better team in the second half against Manchester United. Tactically, they had a very narrow vertical layout in that game. The defense allowed a little bit of space in behind, but not so much so that United's quicker players could run in behind that defense and cause them too much trouble. They defended resolutely. They played with heart and spirit, and they wanted the game more, yes. But tactically, Sean Dyche pressed up the defense slightly, dropped down his very, very vertically narrow field of play that Manchester United had to play the ball wide as well because it was very compact in both the vertical and the horizontal play. And Sean Dyche just nailed it. Manchester United couldn't get into a flow. They've got players, very good, technically gifted players that couldn't play through that space. And they were all over United. And when United had the ball at the back, which was most of the game, when Man United had possession, they're playing at short passes between the back three, waiting for an opening further up the field. And they'd like, well, we'll let you do that. We're going to drop our forward line deeper. We're not going to press you up the field and let you play intricately past us. And he just nailed it tactically, and Manchester United stood no chance. And if you're a Manchester United fan right now, you're thinking to yourself, why did that Greek guy fire Ange? Just keep him for a couple more weeks.
Until he gets to us, we would have gotten your fourth win.
We would have got our fourth win in a row. It's not a bad result considering Man United didn't have their best game, and Nottingham Forest had a tremendous performance. That second half performance was so good that you're thinking to yourself, Sean Dyche's going to save this team.
Yeah, it's probably going to save it. I think, look, I did say that I think Forest are going to go down, but looking at that fixture, like you said...
You're saying it because you want them to go down more so than you believe they're going to. But Sean Dyche's such a good manager.
Is such a good... Is he a new age Sam Allardyce?
Yeah, he is. He's a young version of Sam Allardyce. No nonsense.
Yeah.
Just pure, good, clever football manager.
But statistically, United still dominated that fixture, you know. I mean, the total shots and all of that.
I think it's because the first half was, they were dominant. The Forest, they were the better side, and they really should have put that game to bed in the first half if they wanted to go and get a win. And 2 sloppy goals in the space of 8 minutes in the second half is a concern that you're not able to defend that. I think Ahmad, for example, offers so much as a right winger, more so than a right wing back, because he's not a defensive player.
Yeah.
He's there to create, right? Which is great. And listen, you should be playing a more attacking outfit against the side like Nottingham Forest. You should be going there to try and dominate them and score a lot of goals, right? He's a small guy in terms of the Premier League. And when a cross is coming into that back post and it's his responsibility to win a header, he's not going to win very many. You know,
win it very easily. Yeah,
you can't criticize Ruben Amorim, I think, for that performance too much. I think they just should have been more clinical in the first half to go on and get their win, and it would have helped them a lot to get 4 wins in a row.
Yeah,
but to have shown the character and the spirit, especially Ahmad's goal in the equalizer later
the one that was
first time volley, the ball's coming back out after a set piece, just bangs it first time, and there's no goalkeeper in the world stopping that one. Great goal. And I think Man United look like you still believe they're turning a corner.
I think they are, and more than anything is the resilience that they're showing, and that's what I feel in the beginning was sort of like lacking. You know, because yes, the manager could be getting his tactics wrong, but at the end of the day, when you go into that field, it's 11 against 11. You just need to leave your heart in the field. And which is what I felt. I mean, I think even Rooney once said that the current crop right now are not really showing passion when they go to play. They're he doesn't see Manchester United passion that he is accustomed to. So I think that is out of the way, and I think the players are like in the right state of mind, and they're really pushing for the manager, and that can actually be what turns things around for United.
I think United spent a lot of money on players who are good quality footballers, and that's why we see players leave Man United. Marcus Rashford is doing it at one of the best clubs in the world,
Yeah, he's
Barcelona.
doing well,
Real Betis has seemed to have got an absolute stunner of a player in Anthony.
Holland at Napoli.
Exactly. Holland is there scoring goals at Napoli. And then Scott McTominay, okay, he's United through and through. And I don't think anyone ever questioned his mentality
ability
and his character.
He used to be a standout player actually for United.
Yeah, I think that he's
like in terms of character.
His reputation was tarnished by that McFred partnership that just didn't work. Fred and McTominay in midfield, it didn't work. But look, there were problems all the way around that squad.
Quick one, when we're talking about those players, has Anthony been sold? He's gone. Who's on loan? Rashford is still on loan.
Rashford's on loan, but Barcelona, it's okay. I think all of those moves are loan moves.
Yeah.
With very easy obligations to be met to force the buy. Because of financial fair play rules, teams have to wait a season before they can outright buy a player, etc. So a certain percentage has been covered by a loan fee, and then the rest is a permanent deal, etc. Like I believe Garnacho is also still on loan with an obligation to buy for a certain amount if he plays a certain number of games. Or I think it's something really easy. Like I know Højlund is on loan, but Napoli have to buy him if they qualify for the Champions League.
Okay.
For example, Napoli are going to qualify for the Champions League. They one of 2 or 3 of the best sides in Italy. They will qualify for the Champions League. So I think a lot of Manchester United want to be rid of these players. They don't want to be.
Yeah, that was where I was going.
Yeah, these players will not come back to Manchester United.
It's full time.
The only one that isn't on one of those deals that it's like you can see that it's an obligation to buy is Jadon Sancho. But Jadon Sancho's in his last year of contract and he's at Aston Villa. That's why there's no obligation to buy, is because they
just running out his contract.
Yeah, he's running out his contract at Aston Villa. He's not running out onto the pitch much at Aston Villa. And when he does, he comes on as a substitute and then gets substituted again. So it's the character of these players that's been in question. And I think now you look at their Man United side and you're like, the players have character.
Yeah.
You know, Casemiro looked like he was done in European football. It's like, buddy, well done at your time at Real Madrid. Go to Saudi, get paid, and enjoy the rest of your career there. But he's shown great character to come back and be one of the key performers in that Man United side.
I agree with you.
And I think that in this January window, the only thing Manchester United are going to be looking at is like, who is unhappy and needs minutes, and what do we do with them? Like a Kobe Mainu, it's a World Cup year. Joshua Zirkzee, it's a World Cup year. They're not playing games.
It makes it different. Remember, we're talking about it even with Arne Slot, that he's going to have to really manage the squad properly, because all this does actually needs minutes. You know?
And sometimes
some are almost guaranteed a place in the national team, but you want to go there knowing that you've been competitive in your club level.
And when you've got a good deep squad, you want European football and more cup football so that you can rotate the squad and give those good players that deserve minutes on a football pitch, give them minutes. But when you've got Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, okay, Bruno Fernandes is not performing at his peak, but you're taking Bruno Fernandes out of the side, he's the best player in the team.
No, you can't.
He's the captain.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, you're going to have to sit bench, and Bruno doesn't need a rest. You're playing 1 game a week. You don't have midweek fixtures. You know, so it's really tough. But in that same breath, you're like, do you do Kobe a favor and tell him, okay, go out on loan?
I think that could be the best for Kobe. But what happens if Casemiro gets injured?
That's what I'm thinking. What happens if Bruno Fernandes gets injured? What, are you going to play Mason Mount a little deeper? Because that's going to be the only option. And then can Mount play every game? We've seen his injury record.
No, I don't think you have to get rid of Kobe, man. I think if I were a coach, I'll give him a few minutes each and every game. Because let's be honest, Casemiro is not a 90 minutes player. And forcing him to play 90 minutes, I think it's suicidal.
The only thing is then you've got Kobe Mainu, who's not as defensively minded a player. So the first player that Amorim looks at when he's taking Casemiro off because he doesn't have the 90 minutes in his legs is Ugarte.
It's Ugarte, yeah. Because Ugarte will
Because that
deep,
balances the team a little bit more.
I get what you're
It's
saying,
not that Kobe Mainoo's not a better player
So
than
then he will have
Ugarte.
to replace the captain,
He has to replace the captain.
which makes it
It
difficult.
makes it difficult. Or you have to play him in one of those two number 10 positions, taking off Matthias Cunha or Brian Mbeumo.
Oof, aye, dog.
So it's really tough to put Kobe Mainoo in this side. But if you're the manager and you're like, you know what, Kobe, you deserve to go out on loan and get some minutes in your legs, right? Which he does. But what if we get an injury?
Yeah.
What are we going to do then?
Yeah, it's tough for a player because now he's a backup, basically.
He really is.
He's a
And
backup
he's not getting the minutes he deserves. And that's also not good for his progress. Because Kobe Mainoo, you have to think he's going to be an important player for Manchester United in the future.
Yeah.
He's represented England at his young age. When he was in the Man United squad, he was one bright spark in a poor side. But the system doesn't have space right now for Kobe Mainoo. And it's such a shame Man United didn't qualify for European football because
'cause
that would
that's-
have helped them a lot. Because then you have to rotate the squad a little bit more. So it's really tough. I think we've spoken enough about Manchester United.
No, I just
Well done, Sean Dykes, though.
I just have one question. If you were to bring, never mind the characters and all of that, if you were to bring one player from those guys, like from Sancho to Rashford, just to strengthen your squad, who would it be? Never mind the fallout and everything. Who do you think can actually fit in that squad?
Marcus Rashford, if he was happy. I think he's the best player. If you're thinking for the future, Garnacho, that's the one player you'd want to come back. If character wasn't a problem, Garnacho, probably, because he's someone who's going to contribute for a long time. Because his talent and his age, Garnacho is one that you think would help the squad right now already. I think he's a very good player. And long term, he's someone you want in that team. Marcus Rashford, if he was going to be happy at Manchester United, you want him in that team. I think he goes straight into the starting 11. You wouldn't have had to sign Cunha, you know. And he's a tremendous player and he's a Manchester United boy. He's Man United's top goal scorer still over the past 10 years, by the way. You know, so he's it's very sad to see these players go. But at the end of the day, I think that the way things are going, you look at it and you're like, Manchester United made the right decisions. And in terms of new signings now, it's like they're getting it right. You know, there's not flops coming into that side. And it's all the best to Man United, and they've got Spurs this weekend. So they have to travel there to Spurs, and it all depends on which Spurs side shows up. Yeah,
because you can get a very good Spur or a very bad Spur.
Yeah. And
Spurs,
and Chelsea found a very bad Spurs side this weekend. They managed a 1-0 win away from home against a team that's competing with them for the top 4 positions.
It's going to be interesting, yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Wolves sacking their manager after a 3-0 thumping by Fulham. You were talking about Fulham as being one of those sides to potentially go down. Listen.
It's not happening.
For me, if you're forcing my hand and telling me three teams that are going down, I don't know why people were carrying on as if it's like all 3 of the sides going down this season are going to be teams that were in the Premier League last season. That doesn't happen. All right? This is going to be the first season in a long while where all 3 teams that have come up haven't gone straight back down. Yeah, I don't think that's happening this season. Because I think Wolves are going to go. It's still early to say. But I think Burnley are gone.
You reckon?
I think Burnley are gone. They had nothing against Arsenal this weekend. Okay, yes, it's Arsenal.
But we didn't expect them to have something against Arsenal.
I thought they'd get thumped. I think 2-0 is a flattering scoreline for the quality of this Burnley
Doesn't
side.
that 2-0 suggest that maybe they can still...
I think Burnley are gone. I don't think they've got a strong enough squad. And I
want to check their next fixture.
Their next fixture is West Ham.
That's a humdinger of a fixture.
And that next fixture is a 3-goal swing between the 2 sides. If West Ham are to win that game, they'll be level on points. Okay, Burnley will still likely be ahead of them on goal difference because it's quite a big swing that's still required there. But Forest, looking much better under Sean Dyche. Very good side. Leeds United is Forest's next fixture.
Yeah, no, it's crazy because the bottom half are playing each other, and because
even Everton and Fulham are playing each other, and they're also on 11 points each.
Oof.
Right,
that's a crazy weekend.
I expect Everton and Fulham both to survive, so that leaves, as things stand, Leeds, Burnley, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest. We've just spoken up West Ham and Forest. They've got good squads. They've got good managers. If you look at Forest and West Ham from this weekend, do you think either of those teams get relegated? I'm not saying they're going to be pushing up the table, but you think
Forest might survive. Look, the appointment of Sean Dyche was very, very, very good for them.
Very important.
Very important. I think
should have gone for him instead of Angie in the first place.
In the first place, yes, because at that point they should have looked at where they are and say, you know what, it's all about survival. Who is a good manager in English Premier League that can actually help us to survive?
And Sean Dyche's that name.
But
they probably should have stuck with Nuno in the first place anyway.
Oh, look, Nuno is a legend, bro. I love that guy. I think
and I think him with a good West Ham side who have some good players in that squad will help West Ham survive.
You remember Nuno's Wolves? I guess it used to be a problem. It was a thorn, bro.
And since he's been gone, they've not been the same.
They've not been the same.
And I think they're going to be the first team to go, and they play Chelsea next. So it's still another game without a win, probably.
Yeah.
And that's going to mean 11 games, no wins for Wolves. They're currently on 2 points.
Then we can
write them off already.
Yeah, I can write the obituary next week and read it out.
Anything can happen in the Premier League. A word on Manchester City. I watched that game.
Yeah. Your thoughts?
Manchester City have so many good technicians.
Yeah.
So many good technicians. Shirky. Oh, my goodness. What a player. Phil Foden. What a player. Bernardo Silva. What a player. Manchester, Jeremy Doku played centrally on the right. We've never seen that. He normally plays wide, left, get past your defender, cross the ball. Dude, that's your job. No, he's been given other responsibilities, and these short triangle passes.
Did you see what Bernardo Silva was playing?
Centre back practically.
Bro, I'm like, what is Pep doing with this team?
But that's
Pep just like inventing football,
Yeah, I was so happy to see this for Pep Guardiola. Obviously, I'm a Manchester United fan, and I shouldn't want to see Manchester City doing so well. But City have so many good technicians in the team that it's like, what do you do as an opposition? Because they're going to just play triangles past you. And if you leave any sort of space for Haaland behind, he's going to break and punish you.
Yeah, and that's what happened, we saw.
And that's what happened. And Shirky, with players like Shirky, Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, those players are going to pick you out.
Yeah.
They're going to pick out that run for Erling Haaland. And I tell you what, Simi said that Arsenal going to win the league by January. I do not agree. I still think Arsenal should be favourites for the league right now. Good side. And they're winning football matches on corner kicks and free kicks, and nobody's stopping them. So and they're not conceding any goals going back either. But don't write off Manchester City. I'll tell you that right now.
City.
They're a good side, and it was good to see Manchester City play Pep Guardiola football, tiki-taka, the way that they did against Bournemouth, who aren't a joke. Bournemouth was sitting second on the log.
They wanted to be up there. Okay? They won. They would have been sitting pretty up there.
Yeah, and they're still in fourth.
Yeah.
They're only behind Arsenal, Manchester City, and Liverpool, and only just behind Arsenal, Manchester City, and Liverpool. They're ahead of Spurs, Chelsea, Sunderland, Manchester United, and Crystal Palace, who we've been singing the praises of all season. Bournemouth are a very good side, and Manchester City made them look subpar, in my opinion. They were still dangerous on the counter.
Yeah, they were.
Manchester City didn't have the whole game in their favor, but and there's concerns that when you score a goal 8 minutes later, you concede one. That's not great. But 8 minutes later, they were back in front. They've got so many good technicians in that side that it looks like Manchester City when I used to watch them under this Pep Guardiola dominance era, where it feels like watching action soccer.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like you've gone to the local action soccer and there's a team that can play ball against a team that can't play ball. And you're like, the guys will come off the pitch and say, what do we need to do? And you're like, sorry, bro, I got no advice for you. They're going to thump you.
Just
you know,
go
and
out
that's
there.
how, just go out there.
Try
Just try your
enjoy.
best. That's my advice. Try your best. I can't even give you any advice on how to stop the City side because when they're in full flow, it's like, good luck.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Look, if you remember what I said I'm not yet convinced, but I did mention that once those new signings get going, like Shaky coming back from injury, you know, Mamouche coming back, Reyners as well. Once they start coming back from injury and get going, I think City can still be very much dangerous. And for me, it was the first time I've seen City just actually dominating and playing their usual football in the longest while. You know, they've not been that clinical in many aspects, and just that game it was the first time I've seen them so cohesive this season.
They look like married Pep Guardiola all over again. Divorced Pep Guardiola wasn't a good look.
No.
But they're starting to look like married Pep Guardiola again.
True. We want Pep married.
We want Pip married. We want that one. Okay, this weekend's fixtures before we wrap it up.
Yeah, no.
Premier League, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium hosting Manchester United.
The first game of the weekend, eh?
It's the first game, early kickoff Saturday, pasta at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another draw.
Another draw.
I think it's either...
Manchester United are better at home at the moment.
Okay, United is at home.
No. Spurs are at home.
No. A draw is good for United.
That's why I'm saying a draw would be good enough for Man United in a way.
Unless they can just maybe...
I don't know. Spurs looked so bad this weekend. You think to yourself, okay, United are going to go win this one. But Spurs have a good side. They're at home. Manchester United, in this run of bad form, Manchester United haven't been good at Old Trafford. Actually, they were winning games away from home. But now Man United, Old Trafford looks like the place where you don't want to play them again. And they still not turned the corner. I said this last week. They've not fully turned the corner, but they look like they're on their way there, and I still feel that way. I think Man United are on their way. It's too soon to sit and talk about them like they're going to go compete for a title.
Yeah.
I heard Man United fans saying this, that we're going to win the league. Calm down. Slow
I just said top
down.
4. I think they would have
Top
done
four,
well.
top four will be a great result for them.
It's a strong probability.
Yeah, and they don't have Champions League football or
That's what
Carabao Cup to distract
That's what
them.
I'm looking at.
So
Yeah.
they top four,
top 6, top 4.
top 6. I think will be good enough for me.
It's realistically
In terms of how they've turned things around from how bad Man United were under Ten Hag to finishing 15th under Ruben Amorim. His first year in charge has not been good. But I still believe in him, and I believe in the squad that he's building, and I like the way they're playing football. And I think the more confidence they get in those legs, I think a top 6 will be good for Man United. Top 4 will be a tremendous result, and I think they should be very happy with that because it's progress. It's not overnight change. That's not going to happen. That's not how football works. And they're going to need time to develop, and a top 4 will be good. I think starting this weekend, if Man United get any points out of this game, it's a good result for them at the end of the day. But it's an opportunity to get 3 points.
I know, definitely.
I'm not gonna call Spurs easy win or anything like that. I don't think so.
There's no such thing.
So I don't disagree with your prediction of a draw, but I do think Man United might edge this one. But I'm a fan and I'm biased. I'm skipping over some Everton, Fulham, West Ham, Burnley because we spoke about those games already, talking about the relegation battle. Sunderland against Arsenal.
Oh, Sunderland.
And Sunderland are at home, Stadium of Light.
Stadium of Light. Will they be light?
No.
Okay.
Arsenal's still too good. I still think Arsenal will win that fixture.
I think that could be a fixture where
Arsenal drop some points.
drop some points, yeah.
Is this speaking as a Manchester City fan?
No. No, that's just me thinking. I think Sunderland are...
Could be. Sunderland have been a bogey team for teams pushing for titles in the past. But we're speaking long ago. They're still a newly promoted side. They're not flying high in the way that they were earlier in the season. But let's see. It's Sunderland are at home. Arsenal have to go and make things happen there. But it's like if Sunderland are going to sit and defend, you'll give away a corner. Arsenal will score from a corner.
Yeah, that's true as well.
You know, so
what do? You can't
what do
go
you
pound
do?
to pound with them.
You can't go pound to pound with them because
either
they'll bury you.
Either or
But if you're going to sit
bug
and
it.
defend, you're going to give away a corner kick or a free kick or something, and
More
they're
than
gonna,
usual,
and
you
they're going to
would.
score.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's this fixture is up to Arsenal and how they play. If they keep playing the way they've been playing, I think they're going to win this game.
Okay.
Chelsea against Wolves. Chelsea
come
at home. Wolves going to get thumped. Good opportunity for Chelsea to get some confidence in their legs.
Yeah.
Aston Villa against Bournemouth. Let's skip over that. Brentford, Newcastle. Newcastle need to get some results in.
It's been shaky.
And then Manchester City versus Liverpool, the fixture of the weekend. Sunday night, 6:30. City at home.
City at home, and that's a fixture that City needs.
City needs this Liverpool team now.
Yeah.
Unless
Coming
they
off
beat
Real
Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But they're going to lose to Real Madrid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think they can beat Real Madrid.
Actually, don't know
Real
how that
Madrid's
fixture.
too good.
I actually don't know how that fixture might just play out.
I think City win this.
Because Liverpool and City, has been
Konate and Van Dijk this season. It's still Konate and Van Dijk this season.
with Checky and Haaland there.
Shirky and Haaland after having to deal with
Vinicius Junior, Mbappe, and the likes.
and the likes. I fancy a City win this weekend,
Yeah, I fancy a City win as well.
and that's
Not because I'm a City fan. I'm skeptical of Liverpool, but I think those elements that we've just mentioned, I think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be easy for City. We know for sure.
And if your predictions are right, say Arsenal draw against Sunderland,
Yeah,
away. Manchester City win against Liverpool.
yeah.
That leaves Manchester City on 22 points.
Just 4 points
and
behind.
Arsenal 26 points, just 4 points behind.
Because I know they're six clear of City.
Yeah. They're currently 6 points clear.
That's
So-
interesting.
Interesting action this weekend on both sides of the table. It's going to be a hell of a time. Manchester United and Spurs are on the same number of points. So if Man United are to win that one, they could leapfrog Liverpool again, especially if City win, as we predict, and find themselves pushing for a top four place. So there's a lot of shifting and changing every week in the Premier League.
Yeah, I know.
We'll have
you
to see
can't
what
even
comes.
predict it.
Well, come back to us next week. We've been saying it every week. Hey, you said this, you said this, you said this last week.
But many we're getting right, but yeah.
We're getting a lot right, and it's not because we think too highly of ourselves. We're just trying to speak honestly on football and how we see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Marco Martins.
I'm your favorite super sub, Musuphi.
This is Black and White Boots.
Danko.
Danko.